Welcome, everybody. You know what? I actually forgot to pick my glasses. So I can't read all these names which are coming in such tiny letters underneath, but I, I could see. If you can read those names, you can welcome them. But we'll
I can
start.
read
I'll
it
start
too, but
by welcoming. I'll start by welcoming Kyra. Kyra is a woman of many layers. That's the description I came up after knowing her. Not so long ago, only I think probably a few months. And I've, I've been reading her stuff, and she's been in my cohort, and I found that if, the only way to describe Kara is she is like an onion, women of many layers.
an onion and
Not a very good metaphor, but I think there is no other no other thing is like an onion where you remove one layer and comes another one. So what we are going to do in today's live is remove layers and get to know Kyra, what Kyra is inside. So to start with, why don't you introduce yourself, Kyra? Uh, who are you? Where are you coming from? And I don't even mean physically. And what are you doing on Substack?
sure. I welcome the question. Um, I am Kyra Faison-Gardner. I'm originally from New York City. Right now, I live across the river in Morris County, New Jersey, northern New Jersey. And
Mm-hmm.
I am, like you say, an onion. I'm going to have to come up with a better, a better analogy or a descriptive word. I can't do it on the fly. You keep me off guard, Neera. But um, I I'm going to do something that I usually discourage women from doing, but I'm going to do it to
Mm-hmm.
prove a point.
Okay.
Um, I am the CEO of a family business, and
Mm-hmm.
I have over 25 years in that business as a CEO. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a writer. I'm a spiritual feminist,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
poet, um, mom, wife, dog mom. So I'm all of those,
Mm-hmm.
and they are definitely all a part of me. I embrace them. I love them all. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm right now. I am something that I cannot even name. I am in this beautiful place, and I write about this a lot, this beautiful liminal place. I'm in my second becoming,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a true title for that. I don't have a true title for it. All of those things
Mm-hmm.
are roles that I embrace and I love, and they used to be much more meaningful for me. I was able to kind of fit in a slot, and depending where I was, I would use one of those titles to introduce myself. Right now,
Mm.
I'm
I'm
just
I'm going to throw
where I,
a word back at
yeah,
you, which you have used to me, which you have told me, and I didn't fully understand its meaning when you first used it in front of me. But I'm beginning to understand it after reading your work, more and more of it, which is you use the word crone, an old crone. Would
mhm.
do you want to describe that?
Yes, and
Do
I'm
you want
gonna.
and do you think it is the word that describes you?
I'll tell you what. Two things. First of all, I didn't say old crone. You did. And I'm glad you did because first I'm an onion, now I'm an old crone. I'm never coming back on a live with you. But the you
Ah.
point of of words, right? And how we use them and how we can reclaim them.
Mm,
I chose to
mm,
reclaim the word crone for women
mhm,
of a certain age. I
mhm,
chose to reclaim it for us because it was one of those words that was used as a bit of a slur. Crones
mm,
are amazing elder women that are no longer bleeding, they're past
Mhm.
childbearing age, but they are the keepers of wisdom for community and society. And I really
Mm.
I want women to start embracing everything about themselves, especially as we get older. Our value is not only childbearing.
Mhm.
Our value is
Mhm.
not only caretaking.
Mm.
I chose to use the word crone. I don't use it all the time. I do use it often, and you did point out that some people may not understand it. They may think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
digestive.
I I do, and that's why I'm asking you. Please define it for me because I didn't know that that definition, and I don't know where this word comes from. Is it does it come from a specific um, um, culture? Does it come from a
So
um,
it's
black culture, or does it come from
it's more of an
the
archetype.
indigenous culture?
It's more of an archetype.
Okay, archetypal.
The maid, the maiden, the mother, the crone. It's more of an archetypal, descriptive word.
Okay, so it's a English language word which is used to describe certain w- group of women or certain women um, which carries the I wouldn't say the word burden, but which carry the wisdom, and they are the keepers and the propagators of those wisdom.
Yes,
Beautiful,
and they're older.
beautiful.
It's always given an older
And
role.
they are older.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Um, so here is my question. But before I ask my question, I just want to point out Maria in the chat, and I was able to read because it was there for a while. She pointed out that trees have the rings,
Mm,
and that could be another one. So is it's possible that could be another metaphor to explain
yeah.
you, because the beauty with the trees metaphor is that those rings are achieved over years, over a time. And I think same thing happened with you too. And that's where my question is now. Don't you think that we women go through these building these layers or growing these layers around us? So we start with being very naive and people pleaser and
Mhm.
uh, um, carers, even as little kids, a little child, um, at the age of like before, even before the teen years, we become we start taking those carer roles very early in our age,
Yes.
and then we becomes bigger. We become mothers, then we become the family builders and the earners. Now it's a big part, the big earning of a household equally from a female than and then from a male in the family unit. And then when you come to the age when all these responsibilities are over,
Mhm.
you you become a different person from all the experiences you have gained, and now you take up a different role. But it's a carer at a bigger, wider space, with a bigger, wider um, wider community you want to care for. Is that what you feel as well?
So, yes, to a certain extent, I think that something that you didn't mention that plays a role in the caretaking from very young ages. Yes, I do think that just it's been my personal experience, I'll say, that
Mhm,
females tend to be a little bit more empathetic. Now, some of
mhm,
that is how we're nurtured. Some of that
mhm,
culturally, we are nurtured to be caretakers from when we're very young.
mhm, mhm,
Oftentimes, young male children are given, not, I'm not saying this right or wrong, this is good or bad. I'm just saying what I have seen,
mhm,
where young male children are given toys that are action oriented, that are, um, skill
mhm,
based, that allow them to win, to build. to,
mm,
race, they get to build their personal skills, and that's those
mhm,
toys cultivate that. Whereas often females are given from very young ages toys that require nurturing, like dolls or
mhm,
kitchen. So then when little girls get a little
mhm,
kitchen set, they're not typically cooking for themselves. They're typically making these little meals and bringing them to other people. They are playing with a doll that they
mhm,
can't put down because they've seen mommy or someone else carry this
mhm,
baby around. So they can't run. They can't, you know, they don't do
mhm,
those things. I'm not saying one is
mhm.
better than another. I'm just saying that the I hear a little ground noise. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Um,
Oh, it's not at my end. I'm sorry. Um,
Okay, but so that
y-
it starts early. That's what I'm saying as far as the caretaking. And not
mhm,
that it is anything negative. And yes, we do
mhm,
go forward caretaking. I think where things begin
mhm,
to get a little maybe destructive is that women in our culture are often geared to caretaking others at the expense
mhm,
of their own care. So that to me is where things can become these aren't necessarily paying jobs. These are the care of the home, the care of your family. Then you maybe enter into a relationship and you have children of your own and a spouse and you're caring for them as well. Beautiful.
mhm,
37 years married. I have 3 grown children and a son that has autism. I am a caretaker. I
mhm,
I am blessed to be in a position to be able to do that. I'm also a
mhm,
CEO and a writer and a community builder.
mhm,
So all of those experiences go into who we are across a lifetime, just like they go into who anybody is. But for
mhm,
women in particular, in
mhm,
in our society, modern society, women are systematically devalued as they get older, where men who hold positions of power are
mhm,
often seen as more valuable as they get older. They're seen as these fonts of, information. They just know so much because they're powerful. Whereas
mhm,
women, the we are devalued in
mhm,
general.
mhm,
We get older based on our inability to either draw a man's attention or
mhm,
hold a man's attention or have children.
mhm,
So the expectation is that we will go back to caretaking in a way that somehow serves society, totally negating the fact that we maybe had dreams. We may
mhm,
have skills. We may
mhm,
know a thing or two about negotiation.
mhm,
Like that's
mhm.
that's the part that
Yes.
out. And then women
Yes.
also, as we grow, we lose community. We don't wash clothes by the rock with each other anymore. We're not in the field gathering things together and walking back to the village together. So we become isolated, and then the things that, social media tells us will make people want us, like attractiveness or, whatever. We don't have those easy access to that. We don't feel that. We don't feel valued, so we don't share.
Mhm,
Then we can find each other and we get
mhm.
lonely.
Now we have Substack.
And dang it, that's the truth. Now we have Substack and we have people like
Yeah.
you who you helped me so much with your program.
Mhm,
Um, because I have written a book. I have my book is coming out, my memoir, but I had ideas for other books and I didn't know what to do with them, and I was really stuck. Um,
mm,
and you showed up on Substack. You
mm,
told your story, which made me feel so welcome. You talked about how you struggled to kind of figure out what you wanted to do on Substack. Right? You showed up, you shared first one kind of work, then you were sharing things, not understanding the process. But you
mm,
figured it out, and then you invited other people into
mm,
your program. So that's the beauty of something we didn't have, 20 years ago, right?
mm-hmm. That's true. And I think there was a gap in between. So before women used to be able to meet each other, and I remember distinctly where I was growing up in India, in our street, most of them were women who didn't work. My mother worked all her life, and those women, after finish their housework in the afternoon, like say 2 o'clock onwards, from 2 to 4, they would sit in the street in a circle, either doing knitting or doing chopping vegetables or whatever. They will bring their work, they'll sit in the street. It was a closed street, so they had bring their chairs and their work, and they will chat and do the work. And
Mhm.
then it disappeared because of many things. More people started staying inside the home, and there was TV and other things, all day TV. When TV started in my city, it was only in the evening. Daytime, there was no programs. So now it's 24-hour TV. Everybody is glued to the screen. But technology, which took away that mm, community factor from women, is now technology is bringing them together as well, and across the seas, across that. That's the
Yes.
good part. What I want to know is, I'm coming back to you because I'm wary of the time. We have already 17 minutes into the talk. So, how you help women, particularly
Mhm.
in their middle age, and you're a coach, life coach for them, to transition from a life before, and I would let you define that. How do you help? And to next life, or next phase of their life, um, through your life coaching skills.
Mhm.
Uh, do you think there is a very painful transition period that people need someone to help them through?
I think it's different for everyone. Men
Mm-hmm,
and I think it's different for everyone. I think women who have held higher positions, management positions, where they've had a certain amount of status and recognition, when they come to retirement, that can be very hard to then just be seen um, as an older woman with none of the titles attached. And I
mm-hmm,
think on the other side, women who have been deeply involved in their children's lives, and then
mm-hmm,
their children grow up and move along, and they're left without that, that can
mm-hmm,
be very difficult. It's not always painful. A lot of people have been waiting for this time, and it's exciting.
mm-hmm,
Uh, but I think for me, I really do lean into the curiosity aspect. And
mm-hmm,
my work, I don't do as much work as a coach. I really do more work as a mentor, because I really enjoy I want to tell you what I see.
What's
And
the difference? What's the difference?
so coaching, you really are providing um, questions and helping people kind of find the answers themselves along the way.
Mm-hmm,
You come up with
mm-hmm,
a goal for them. They come up with the
mm-hmm,
goal that they want to achieve, and you basically offer them questions that lead them closer to reaching that goal. And I see a mentor. I'm an intuitive mentor, so I want to tell you what
mm-hmm,
I want to reflect back what I've heard and then tell you what I see. So it's
mm-hmm,
I have a little more leeway when I approach it as a mentor versus a coach. But
mm-hmm,
I for me, I approach the work a little bit differently in that my work invites women
mm-hmm,
really know who they are now, to
mm-hmm,
be honest about who they are now, because we time flies and we forget, and we live by things we used to love, things
mm-hmm,
we used to like, that are meaningless to us now. So the work that I do is very tender in that I invite women into a deeper knowing of who they are now, and then what that would look like in community for them. So
mm-hmm,
that, you
mm-hmm.
some time in reflection on who they are, what they like, what's meaningful now. Look
Mm,
in the mirror. Love what you see
mm.
now. This is you now. What what do you like? And so many women don't even remember. They cannot
That's
remember, they don't know.
that's so appropriate and correct, because I in my 50s, probably in my mid to late 50s, I started wondering, who was I? I had lost myself along the way. The only thing which brought me back to me was the writing
Mm,
and the journal writing. Um, and on that note, I just want to point out to everyone who is listening, and there's 27 of people who have joined us. Wonderful.
yeah.
Great. Uh, Kyra's Substack is so different than what I have read so many other Substack. And when I get into a writer, I start from their number one post they have ever
Oh,
published,
no.
and and move my way up, and which I did with yours as well. And what I found is your Substack is a open journal. You are writing regardless of who the reader is. And the first thing we say, okay, find your audience. Who are you writing for? One person, find one person, and blah, blah, blah. No, you are writing for yourself, basically. And you are writing to discover yourself, which one does in a diary, um, in a journal. And that makes it so, you know, uninhibited. It's open. It's all there. It may not connect. Things may not connect, and the whole narrative may not connect, but that's what a human being is. That's what our mind is. That's how we write in our journals. We write what we are thinking at that moment in time. So I'll urge you guys to check it out, subscribe to her, and you might learn a thing or two from her work. Beautiful work. But let's come back to your books. So
Mhm.
you told me you have written and published one or two books already, and there is
Yeah.
a memoir coming.
Yes.
Tell us about them, please.
So the earlier books, one is around cultivating peace in your home for yourself. I really use those more in my programs to share
Mm-hmm,
with people who take my programs. I'm very
mm-hmm,
excited about the memoir. It's out in a week. It's called Edge of the Woods, a
mm-hmm,
memoir of fire and second becoming.
mm-hmm,
And really briefly, I self-published a version of it, about a year ago, a year and a
mm-hmm,
half, and it was
mm-hmm,
awful, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I tried to do the entire thing myself
mm-hmm,
without the support of a community, without a formatter, just no help, and it was terrible.
mm-hmm,
I was frightened. I felt so badly. This poor book,
mm-hmm,
I said, was like I dropped a kindergartner off at middle school and then was pacing in front of the building because
mm-hmm,
it was out in the world and it wasn't ready. I took it back. I
mm-hmm,
reworked it. Some of it I was still in program with you, and that was very helpful for me to review. Um,
mm-hmm.
it's finally being released. So
Well,
it'll be
mm.
in a week. Um,
A- do you have any other book in works? Do you
I do.
want?
I do. I
Mm-hmm,
have Neera. I have a list of books, and that's the beauty of being in a program with a mentor or a coach like
mm-hmm,
you. You really helped me. It's true. I have so many ideas. You really helped me narrow down my ideas. My next book is going to be a field guide, a field journal, and it's going to be based on a lot of the activations and spiritual poetry that I write. And it's a
mm-hmm,
devotional for um, modern female elders. So I will share literally poems that I've received through, transmissions and my work with the Black Madonna. Um,
mm-hmm,
Excited about it. You made
mm-hmm.
me rethink the title.
Okay. All right. So That's wonderful. I I want to know something from you.
Yes.
Why did you want when you wrote your first book?
Yes.
Why did you want to write a book? What where was that urge coming from? The desire.
Hmm. I I will say I wrote that first. It was the memoir, and I wrote it from a desire to help other people, which was the
Mm-hmm.
wrong reason to
Mm-hmm.
approach that project
Mm-hmm.
because I
That's
wasn't
what. Mm-hmm.
that particular project. I was not
Yeah.
honoring my process. And I was
Mm-hmm.
so busy trying to fill in the blanks to help other people not experience the trauma that I had, that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really process and honor my own experience. So the
Mm-hmm.
book never felt right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I will say. Don't don't write a book for other people unless it is literally for other people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yes. 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 You know what? In the writing word, they say your first book you write for yourself. And
Mm,
I have just remembered I wrote a post many moons ago. Uh, I wrote a post and it was called, and I see my books as my children. And in that post, I made a case your first child is for yourself. So your first book is your own, is for yourself. You write it for yourself, and you tell those stories to you. And then you start writing more and more and more. And then its process starts refining, and then you start writing for others. So
yeah.
you are
It's
absolutely
it's
right. You discovered it with your own experience that your first book was not for others, not to change the world, but to change you. Because the process of writing a book changes you more than
yes.
anything else. More than
Yeah.
anything else. So, journal writing is writing in your journal is the first stage.
Mhm.
Compiling that writing or into a book, or doing the second stage of writing is writing a book, and the first book is for yourself.
Yes. It was a lesson learned, and I love talking about it because I want other people, women in particular, to
Hmm.
recognize it's okay for it not to be perfect. It's
Yeah.
okay for things not to work out the way you thought they were going to. Actually, when we consider a fail, when we think something goes horribly wrong, it's
Hmm.
almost like an icebreaker. Now you're free to go. You're not so
Hmm.
worried about
And
devastation.
it's okay not to publish it as well. You don't have to publish it, but write your first book for yourself and write the truth, your truth.
Mhm. Yeah, you can
Hmm.
even self-publish 2 copies. You can do that on a site like Lulu or some other site, and it can be just for you or your family or someone special. So
Hmm.
there are options. I'm actually, have another book project I'm thinking of, and I'm gonna join you again because it's a book, that I would like to use for my community using
Hmm.
the framework I came up with, and I know that that's totally your wheelhouse. That's exactly what you do. So I'm looking forward to bringing that book
Hmm.
project to work with you
On
again.
that note, let me announce that I'll be starting a new cohort on Substack from September.
Oh,
So,
good.
yeah, I'm going on a break at the end of this month, and away for whole of August. But you will keep getting my posts and other things. You'll keep hearing from me and some of my travel photos. But in September, get ready. I'll start another cohort for all the paid members of my community. So anyone who is thinking of writing their book, just keep that in mind, please. So we are almost at the end. It's 10:30 for me. Any questions from the readers, please, or listeners? If you have any questions for Kyra, I would love to know. And in the meantime, Kyra, tell us about your Substack, where people can find you, and your book, which is coming, because people must it must be on their radar to buy it when it comes.
Yes, so, my Substack is Women at the Edge of the Woods. Please do come find me there. I would love to be in community with you. The book
Hmm.
is Edge of the Woods, a memoir of fire and second becoming.
Hmm.
I'll be talking about it a lot for the whole next week, and it will be on Amazon, books.com or bookshop.org,
Hmm.
um, and Barnes& and Noble, so it'll be
So, do you have a date for that?
it's right now it's the 20th. It's scheduled for release on the 20th. So that's
20th July.
a week from today.
Okay, all right. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'll be looking forward to it. And I haven't seen any questions, so thank you, Kyra, for joining us today. And I'll publish this chat along with the notes tomorrow, 24 hours from today, and it will appear both in yours and my Substack publications. So hope other people will read it and listen to it and come and get to know Kyra from there. All right. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Neera. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. There's a good number today, 30 now. That's great. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I have to get better at counting. I never look. I can't tell you how many subscribers I have. I'm,
N-
you know.
No, no, it's not the subscribers. I'm interested because of the timing. I'm in
Oh,
Australia. You are in US. I'd
mhm.
normally do it at this time when both of us are awake, but many people can't join. Thank you, everyone who is floating hearts. I
Oh,
think people loved it. Kyra, thank you very much. And
yeah.
everybody, thanks for your time and listening to us chat
Oh, it's
uninhibited.
so, yeah. Thank you. Have a
Bye
great night
bye.
or morning.
Yeah, bye.